Colton Buxton. I'm a senior here at CHS.
Joseph McFarland. I'm also a senior here at CHS.
So track season's starting up. You guys are getting ready to compete in your first meet. What's the feeling like being back out there after not having a season last year?
It feels, you can't even describe the feeling. Like I've always loved doing track, so not having a season last year really, I don't know, messed things up. Kind of sad about it because track's my sport, so it's really what I like doing. So having a season this year is just an amazing feeling. I'm glad I can finally be back out there hurdling and jumping into the pit.
What about for you?
So for me, it's not gonna lie, it's a little bit of kind of salt in the wound or dirt in the wound. Last year was supposed to be a good year, good competition within the team. It's just disappointing because that competition within the team isn't quite here, but it is redeeming because my good old teammate Noah Lawrence, who beat me out in cross country, he is doing track this year, and so it's going to be interesting to see how we compete against each other and what races we do compete. Other than that, just competing, it's going to be interesting because, like we said, new year, no previous year experience like all the years beforehand.
So I know you mentioned that you're a hurdler and a jumper. What's that kind of been like, trying to get back into that flow and actually being able, when was the first time you were actually able to go over a hurdle or jump into a pit again after the break?
So obviously, like I talked about before, we did like preseason stuff in the winter after January. That was the first time I kind of got back into the hurdling routine, just going over a few hurdles, doing our rhythm stretches and stuff like that. Was the first time I finally were able to get back over a hurdle for not doing it for almost 2 years because of the situation we've been in. And then I didn't jump into a pit for obviously 2 years or so again until the beginning of practice this year. So it's all slowly coming back, but it's starting to feel good.
And I know you mentioned as a distance runner, sometimes the mile and 2 mile don't even feel long enough to you as someone who prefers the longer races. As a person who's kind of been competing in those for a little bit though, how have you kind of learned to attack those kind of mid-distance mile, 2 mile races?
It's hard to describe. So for a long distance cross country is 5K or 3.1 miles, and that one still feels a little on the shorter end. But to do so, I have to learn to adjust my start, what kind of pace I run in the middle of a race, and the end just comes naturally. It's always the same. But it's also the training that leads to that pace keeping and the start off, because I am like usual, I'm a weird kind of distance runner. I start off with a slight sprint and work down to a pretty decent pace. But I don't do that purely naturally. I have to train, and we have to do a lot of repeat miles, repeat thousands, just short sprints every so often, and it's a bit of a doozy just training.
All right, well, sounds good, guys.